Hi everybody, my name is Nate. You might know me on Pokemon Showdown as iStockPhoto. I'm going to be making a few changes to this channel. I'm going to be providing commentary to these videos. If you hate my voice and prefer the Catch and Evolve videos with music only, don't worry, an uncommented version of every video will be uploaded to an alternate channel. You can find a link to that in the description. With that being said, let's go on to the tournament. Today we have a Gen 7 STABmons Catch and Evolve tournament hosted on January 1st. STABmons is an other metagame where Pokemon have access to nearly every move of their type in addition to the standard move pool. You can see the competitors here. We've got 3120 with Rowlet. We've got Mega 420 Blaziken with Lillipup. We have Mr. Zion with Surskit. We have Iequip with Tangela. We have CCAA1 Hangry with Mime Jr. We have Gugu Bean with Vullaby. And we have TSE4 G-Man with Fantup. And finally, Spitfire with Magnemite. My apologies there if I butchered anybody's username. Let's move on to 3120 versus Mega 420 Blaziken and Rowlet versus Lillipup. Lillipup managed to score an early crit with Giga Impact there. Even though it was a critical hit and even though he's probably choice banded, he still manages to live that. Which is almost a dead giveaway that Eviolite is what 3120 is using on its Rowlet here, which means he's pretty much going to be able to stall this thing out with a combination of Roost, the Leech Seed healing, and Protect and Toxic. So that's pretty much a set right there for 3120. He just kind of has to wait for this to completely play out. May have been smarter to go with the Normalium Z for Mega 420 Blaziken just to give him a chance to really hit him that hard. So a good game to both of you guys there. Up next we have Mr. Zion and Iequip and Surskit and Tangela. And they're going to get started on the battle here. Immediately, Lunge is kind of a cool move that it gets access to due to its stab on bug type, but probably not the best fit for Surskit here. Probably would have been smarter to go with the Bug Buzz. It's got a higher special attack anyway. Tangela is pretty bulky, so it's going to be able to live this stuff and take that set pretty quick. Good game to you both. Up next we have CCAA1 Hangry versus Gugu Bean. We've got the Mime Jr. and the Vullaby coming out. Gets a little chip damage there with Fake Out, but that activates Rattled. Smart move there. That Brave Bird almost completely takes it out. And here's the cool thing. Even with that both Brave Bird and Fake Out chip damage, it still lives the Fluor Cannon. So that just tells you how bulky a Vullaby can be. So that's a pretty good set to you both. Good job, guys. Next, we're going to TSE4 G-Man versus Spitfire and Phantump versus Magnemite. We're going to go ahead and get started here. That Frisk tells you it's got an Eviolite. The Flash Can doesn't quite take it out, and it hits it with the never-ending Nightmare. Just barely lives that, but it's able to take the rest of that damage with the Shadow Sneak. So very quick and very good set from the both. Good game, guys. Up next, we have 3120 and Iequip. 3120 opting to evolve Rowlet. That way it gets access to a very bulky Roost user. Iequip does the smart move. It's generally smarter to use your more bulky Pokemon, leave them unevolved, just due to how Eviolite works. Eviolite Tangela is basically going to have take care of the same Pokemon as a Tangrowth, so probably a smart move to evolve the Surskit into Masquerain there. And we're going to go ahead and get into the battle here. Immediately uses the Spore, but having the Vital Spirit on there is going to block that. Manages to get off Toxic on that Tangela, so that Tangela isn't going to last forever. It is going to be able to get a Leech Seed up, but he's just going to swap out to that. Tangela can't do a ton to this Dartrix, so he's pretty much just hoping to score Hidden Power, but 3120 has already got that stall set, so he can swap around here as he wants to take care of that Tangela. So that Tangela is pretty much over and done with after a few turns of toxic damage. Masquerain here comes out. Masquerain is very dangerous because it gets access to Quiver Dance. They managed to get a Toxic on it, so it can't live forever, but a couple Arrow Blasts after that Quiver Dance, and no thing's going to live after that. Just going to hit it here. You can only protect to get another turn of Toxic. That's not enough to beat this Arrow Blast. Maybe could have gone for a second turn of Protect there, but good job, Iequip, and good game to you both. Up next we have Gugu Bean and TSE4 G-Man. It looks like Gugu Bean has opted to evolve Mime Jr. Again, that's probably a smart move, leaving that Eviolite Volibee. Going to take care of a lot of the same checks that Mandibuzz is. TSE4G-Man, again, probably doing the smart move and evolving Phantumps to give it a little more access to attacking power. That Magnemite's going to take care of a lot of the same checks and that Magneton's going to be able to beat, so that's probably a smart move on his part. We're getting into the battle here now. Going to use that foul play on that Magnemite. It's not going to do anything. Magnemite has a good typing advantage over both of Gugu Bean's Pokemon, so it's a very uphill battle for Gugu Bean here. Manages to get enough chip damage on that Magnemite, but still not quite enough to take it out. Just judging from the damage there and the fact that he used Thunderbolt again, that was probably Specs locked. He's able to take out the rest of that damage on that Mr. Mime with quick Shadow Sneak. Thank you, STABmons, and we're going to go on to our final battle here. We have Iequip and TSE4G-Man. Iequip opting to evolve Dartrix into Decidueye. That gives him access to a lot of really cool ghost moves, which I think you're going to see in the battle. And then TSE4G-Man makes an interesting gamble here. Instead of catching and evolving one of his Pokemon and catching the evolved Pokemon from the last matchup, he opts to catch the unevolved Volibee and evolve it into Mandibuzz. So let's see if that gamble pays off here. And we'll go ahead and get into the match. We have Iequip, and he's using Tangela. He opts to get a Spore off on that Magnemite, so that Magnemite is more or less set up fodder now. But Iequip decides he doesn't want to try and set up that Masquerain while on that Mandibuzz. Probably a smart move. Mandibuzz has a real big advantage in this battle because he's got that Stab Dragon Ascent, which hits all of Iequip's Pokemon super effectively, so he definitely wants to preserve that. Iequip makes a really cool move and goes for the Z Trick or Treat. If you don't know about Z Trick or Treat, it gives you a +1 boost to all your stats and turns your opponent into a ghost type, so it's got a lot of cool options there. He goes for the Spore, but that Overcoat blocks it, so he loses his big advantage there. You can try and set up with Masquerain here, but that Mandibuzz is going to be able to hit him with that powerful Dragon Ascent, so TSE4G-Man tends to win this battle, and good game to you both. Good job, Iequip. Good job, TSE4G-Man. Congrats to you both. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you prefer the uncommented version, you can check out the link to that in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all later.